In 2023, U.S. Surgeon General Dr. Vivek Murthy called loneliness and isolation a public health crisis. And the advisory said about half of U.S. adults had reported loneliness before the pandemic. But you, at your age, are doing something that looks strange from the outside. You look at your phone, see a familiar family name, place it face down on the table, and you let it ring. And here is what nobody expects. You are not cold. You are not selfish. You are not giving up on love. You are finally choosing who gets to walk through your front door. Over the next 8 minutes, you will understand why some people become more dangerous to your peace as you get older. You will understand why family can still drain you, and why distance can sometimes be the most mature form of love. And if a name already came to your mind, do one small thing. Stay. Not for me. Stay for the older version of you who is tired of apologizing for needing quiet. Because the real question is not, who do you love? The real question is, who can be near you without making your body brace? You were not always like this. There was a time you were the one who answered every call, fixed every problem, hosted every holiday. You were the driver, the listener, the spare wallet, the emergency room. You were the person people called when their own choices finally caught up with them. You cooked when you were tired. You gave money when you should have saved it. You said, "It's fine," while your chest felt tight. You let people stay too long in your home, too long in your head, too long in your life. And then one day, you did not pick up the phone, and the world did not end. It got quieter. Dr. Stephen Porges described how the nervous system moves between connection, defense, and shutdown. In simple words, your body keeps score of who feels safe and who feels like danger. It does not wait for a speech. It listens to tone, timing, pressure, and patterns. That is why one person's message can make your shoulders drop, while another person's message can make your stomach tighten before you even read it. You may call it age. You may call it being tired. But often, it is your nervous system finally telling the truth your mouth was trained to hide. So where did you learn to confuse love with letting everyone in? First, there is the person who turns every call into an emergency. You know the sound. The phone rings, and before you even answer, you already feel behind. They need money today, a ride today, a favor today, an answer today. You tell yourself, they just need help, but actually, they have trained your peace to move on their schedule. The cost is that you stop living your own day. You become the person standing by the door with your coat on, waiting for someone else's crisis. Second, there is the person who only sees you when they need you. You visit them, sit down, and after an hour you realize they have talked about their pain, their children, their bills, their memories, and not once asked how you slept last night. You tell yourself, maybe they are just going through a lot. But actually, some people are comfortable receiving care they never return. The cost is slow disappearance. You are in the room, but your life is not. Third, there is the person who cuts you down and calls it honesty. You buy a new chair, and they say it looks cheap. You take a small trip, and they say you wasted money. You say you are resting today, and they remind you what still needs doing. You tell yourself, they mean well. But actually, constant correction is not love. It is control wearing polite clothes. The cost is that their voice starts moving into your head. Even when they leave, you still hear them. Stop. Before we go further, everything you've heard so far is not a compliment in pretty packaging. These are real adaptations of your psyche. You learned to notice pressure early because pressure hurt you. You learned to protect your quiet because people kept stepping on it. This is not weakness. This is evidence. Fourth, there is the grown person who refuses to carry their own life. They miss payments, break promises, lose jobs, and somehow the mess always lands on your kitchen table. Maybe it is a son, a niece, a brother, Someone charming enough to make every disaster sound temporary. You tell yourself, family helps family. But actually, there is a difference between helping someone stand up and becoming the floor they keep falling onto. The cost is resentment. And resentment is what happens when love is forced to pay bills it never agreed to. Fifth, there is the ungrateful person. You drive them, feed them, call them, remember their birthday, check on them after appointments, and somehow they only mention what you forgot, what you did late, what you did wrong. You tell yourself, I should not need thanks. But actually, appreciation is not decoration. It is how care breathes. The cost is that generosity starts to feel heavy. You stop giving from warmth and start giving from fear. And here's the strange part. The older you get, the less dramatic the damage looks from the outside. Nobody sees the tight chest after the visit. Nobody sees the ruined sleep after the call. Nobody sees how long it takes your home to feel like yours again. So how do you know when distance is wisdom and when it is just fear? But here is where it gets complicated. Not every difficult person is toxic. Not every tired conversation is abuse. Not every family problem means you should disappear. Sometimes people are grieving. Sometimes they are scared. Sometimes they are clumsy with love, because nobody taught them better. So the goal is not to become hard. The goal is to become honest. Here is the line I want you to remember. Isolation is being cut off from the people your heart needs. Protection is closing the door on people your body cannot survive. That is the difference. If you stop seeing everyone, that is not peace. That may be pain taking over the steering wheel. But if you stop giving unlimited access to the person who leaves you anxious, guilty, small, or used, that is not cruelty. That is maintenance. You maintain a house. You fix the roof. You change the locks when they stop working. You do not call that hate. You call that care. And this is not only for people in their 80s. It is for anyone who has spent a lifetime being the reliable one, the calm one, the one who absorbs the shock so everyone else can keep pretending nothing happened. Because the scariest part is not losing people. The scariest part is realizing how many years you lost trying not to lose them. And once you see that, what are you supposed to do with the guilt? If you're watching this and wondering if something is wrong with you, hear me. You are not heartless. You are not abandoning your family. You are not becoming bitter. You are someone who finally understands that peace is not a reward you receive after everyone else is satisfied. Peace is a condition you protect so you can stay alive inside your own life. The Harvard study of adult development has followed lives for more than 80 years. And one of its clearest findings is simple. Good relationships are deeply connected to health and happiness. Not the most relationships. Not the loudest relationships. The good ones. The ones where your body does not have to prepare for impact. So if your circle became smaller, but your mornings became calmer, you may not be doing life wrong. You may finally be living in the right house with the right people allowed inside. Let the phone ring sometimes. Let the visit end early. Let the guilt speak, and then let it pass without handing it the keys. Protect the door. If this gave you the permission you did not know you needed, press the button below whose name I will not even say. You know which one. And write one word in the comments. What do you feel when you finally choose peace?